Hi guys, welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I'm here today to get you started on Unit 3, Short I. So let's take a second, make sure you have your materials. You should have this book open to page 23. You'll also need some colorful writing utensils, markers, crayons, whatever you can find. Remember that whatever I do on my board, you should be doing on your paper. Make sure that somewhere on the paper you include a key. That key is going to help you look back and remember what all the different color coding and patterns mean on your list. All right, so let's get started. We have spent 2 weeks talking about short A words. We started with words that had that ah sound followed by a blend. We had words like last and mask. Then week 2, we continued with short A, but what we noticed is that if you add a blend to the end of it, and that blend starts with an M or an N, the A is going to turn into an eh sound. So we saw that with words like pants and bland. So we're going to move on from short A, and this week we're going to talk about short I. But that short I sound should be a review for you. So the new learning is going to happen here. I want you to pay attention to all of the final blends. Notice that all of our words this week have a blend following that short I sound. So let's pay attention to that as we read. Please repeat after me. Gift, hint, lift, list, milk, mist, quilt, risk, squint, and twist. Did you hear that sound over and over again, followed by those blends? Great. Okay, so in our key, what we're going to focus on are those final blends, and we are going to start with a new blend that you haven't seen yet. Put a box around the FT in gift. Remember, it's considered a blend because the F and the T work together, but they each keep their own sound. They just blend together, gift. So we have the FT in gift, and we also have an FT in lift. So on our key, we're going to write that the pink box equals the FT blend, okay? Notice that final blends are usually different than initial blends. You would never see FT at the beginning of a word. It just wouldn't sound right. But you see it quite often at the end. Okay, so let's choose a second color, and we're gonna mark the NT in hint and the NT in squint. Now there's a blend you've seen before. Last week we saw that NT in words like slant and plant and plants. It is a common blend at the end of a word. Okay, now choose a third color, and let's box that ST in list, the ST in mist, and the ST in twist. Okay, that's an interesting blend. You've seen it before in words like last and past, and here is a case where you would see this blend at the beginning of a word, in a word like step or stand. Okay, moving on, we have another new blend, this LK. You see it in the word milk. You'd also see it in a word like silk. Okay, never at the beginning of a word, but shows up quite often at the end. We also have the LT in quilt. I believe that that's also a new blend for us, but we will see it again in future weeks. And then the last one, I hope I have enough colors here. Blue. is the SK in risk. You've seen that one before in words like task and mask. And SK, by the way, is a blend that you would see at the beginning of a word. Words like skip or skill. Okay, so these are the blends that we are focusing on this week. Shouldn't give you too much trouble. I do want you to pay attention to this QU. We haven't talked about QU, so just a quick refresher. In the English language, that letter Q never goes anywhere without his best friend U. I tell my students that Q is very, very shy. So when you're writing the word quilt, make sure you have the Q and the U together. And when you're writing the word squint, make sure you don't forget that U, okay? They come as a set. Okay, so let's take a quick minute and make sure we know what all of our vocabulary means. A gift, that's a present, right? You give someone a gift for their birthday, perhaps. A hint is when you don't want to give someone the answer, but you want to like help them figure it out. So you give them a little bit of information, just a little piece of information. So for instance, if Dad wants to know what you gave him for his birthday, you could say, well, it's small enough to fit in a box like this big. Or it's something that you asked for, or it's something you put in the refrigerator. Those are all hints. So a hint, you could also say, is kind of like a clue, right? Lift, that means to raise something up, okay? A list, I think you guys know that. You make a Christmas list, a shopping list. Milk, something that we drink that comes from cows. Mist, that's kind of like a, think of it like a fog. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's not raining, but when you walk outside, the air feels wet. It's like instead of the clouds being up in the sky, they're down below and you're walking through them. So all those like suspended water particles form a mist. A quilt is a blanket. You've probably seen these before. It's a blanket that's made by sewing lots of different squares together. You can make a quilt. I just saw a quilt the other day. It was beautiful. Someone took all their old t-shirts and cut them into squares and sewed them together. So that would be a quilt, a blanket. A risk is, like if you take a risk, you're taking a chance, and often it's a dangerous chance, right? So if you go to the mall and you carry your wallet around in your hand, that's kind of risky because there's a good chance you're going to just drop it somewhere, leave it on a counter, or forget about it. You don't want to risk losing your wallet, so you need to keep it in a safe place. Squint, that's when you squeeze your eyes like this. Like if you're trying to read something and it looks really blurry or the print is really small, you have to squeeze your eyes. That's called squinting. If your parents or your teachers notice you squinting when you try to read, then they might suggest you go see the doctor, because sometimes that's a sign that people are having trouble seeing. And then the last word is twist. You know what it means? You can twist your body, or one of my favorite things, on a hot day, you go to the ice cream shop and you get a twist cone with sprinkles. You know, it's like chocolate and vanilla twisted around. Delicious. So that would be the word twist, side to side. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. You should be ready to start your unit. Good luck, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.